Welcome to Namma Bengaluru.
Can we not trap the aroma and share it with the people who are watching it?
I think eventually that will happen. Eventually that will happen.
This is chakna.
Mutton mince.
So this is a hardcore non-vegetarian kind of a set of people.
Absolutely. So I guess this is more like that celebration sort of a meal.
Absolutely.
So a Sunday uta.
Yes. Those, I am going to have this after years. This ragi ball. I'm getting back memories of first time when I came down to Bangalore for a shoot. And I was served the ragi mudde and I did not know what this was. Chabada nahi.
Andar.
Gaya. Nigal lo. I told you na, dum. This is the dum.
Oh, dum. So it's not a dhoom machalo, dum. This is interesting. This is a complete play of textures, no? You got some part of the meat which is crunchy, popcorn jaisa hai.
Correct, crunchy.
And there's some parts which are like juicy, rather melty, the fat. And then you've got some pieces which are slightly dry in between.
Was that a real shunk playing or did I hear it after eating all this?
I think that was a real shunk.
It was music to my ears. All this,
All that we're tasting. Hi folks, this is Kripal Gourmet on the Road and you're watching Food Lovers TV. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe and strong. So today we are on our way to meet an interesting film personality. An actor who has acted in over 12 languages in Indian cinema, and his name is Ashish Vidyarthi. A few days ago, I happened to catch his channel on YouTube. He's got a very interesting channel called Ashish Vidyarthi Actor Vlogs. You must catch it if you haven't watched any of his vlogs already. So what's interesting about his vlogs, of course, I think he likes his food. He seems to be a passionate food lover because there's food in most of the vlogs that I've seen at least. Is also his overall enthusiasm for life, positivity that he brings, that excitement for life that is so much a part of his vlogs wherever he's traveling, in whichever part of the country. I've also caught 1 or 2 vlogs overseas as well. And as I was watching his vlog, I also began receiving messages from our viewers that he follows our work as well. And in fact, they alerted me to certain Facebook lives where he had mentioned that he was at the particular eatery after watching the show on Food Lovers TV. So I thought that was a happy coincidence. And to make things even more interesting, a few days ago he reached out and mentioned that he was in Sakleshpur on a shoot schedule. And he said on his way back from Sakleshpur into Bengaluru to catch a flight back to Mumbai, I suppose, he would love to catch up over a meal. So that's where we are headed this afternoon, to catch up with Ashish Vidyarthi and break bread with him. So stay tuned till the end of this vlog. You should perhaps find it interesting.
Good to see you.
Namaskara.
Namaskara. Welcome. I'm elated.
Welcome to Namma Bengaluru.
Yes,
it's such an honor to finally meet you.
Yes, it is just another thing that, you know, some years back we sipped some wine together.
We sipped some wine together. That's
program.
right. The Food Lovers Show.
Food Lovers Show.
That's right.
And I had come with my dear friend Madhu.
Yes.
And so I'm very happy that today I'm finally here. And just to begin with, just to let you know, you are doing yeoman service in this field, and I've been following your work for a while, Kripal, and that's why I reached out to you.
No, thank you so much. And
amazing.
You know, it was around that time, like they say, the universe sometimes conspires to bring people together, and I think that's what happened. Just about the time that I was beginning to watch your vlogs, and I love the positivity that you bring in your vlogs. Wherever you go, people embrace you, and I think they embrace you for just the sheer happiness and joy that you carry with you wherever you go.
One of the things that really inspires me, Kripal, is that a few of us, you know, we may remain tall islands. Okay, but it's such a great thing when we can meet up and become part of a large continental piece.
That's right.
And that's what I love to do. That I love to interact with people who are doing great work, and then each one of us adds something unique of ours, and together it's it's some major new things can develop. So I'm looking forward to breaking bread together.
Fantastic.
Please tell me something about this place.
So in Karnataka, in Kannada, there is a term, Mandina Maga, which means son of the soil. Right? So today we've come to savor a lunch experience that will typify that. So we're going to savor some Gowdara Uta.
Gowdara Uta, I know, is food.
Uta is food.
And Gowdara is
Gowda is basically a landowning community.
Got it.
So their lifestyle is rather agrarian based, and they love their food. They love their ragi mudde, which is basically
ragi,
the
yes.
staple.
I remember the ragi ball.
That's right, the finger millet.
Yes, okay.
And they love their mutton dishes.
And the glutton that I am, I'm loving it. Years back during the shoots, when the first time I got a ragi ball to eat at the breakfast,
Yes,
and they told me something very interesting. They said, don't chew it.
that's right.
Just put it in and just goes in.
That's right.
And so I did my first film here years back, a film called AK-47.
Okay.
And Ramuji was the producer.
Okay.
And Shivraj Kumar was my co-actor. He was the hero of the film.
Okay.
And I remember sitting together, and when the first time
The ragi mudde.
Mudde came for breakfast, and when they told me you don't buy it, I said, lovely, yeah, and it just kind of actually melted.
Yeah.
So wonderful. I look forward to this.
It's got good fiber, it's got potassium, and it's also farmer food. So that when you eat that ragi mudde and you go and work, that slowly fuels you through the day.
It's like sattu.
Something
It's
like
used in
that's right.
Bihar and UP.
That's right.
I mean something which gives you energy and is a slow release.
It's a slow release
Yeah.
of all the nutrients through the day. So this place has been around for the last 20 years.
Okay.
So coincidentally, the owner of this place is the chap there in the playing that role in the as an inspector.
Okay.
So I think that's a movie that he acted in, but he's very passionate about food. He's a pharmacist who gave all that up, and 20 years ago his father gave him this piece of land.
Okay.
So he built on it slowly, and he showcases the food of his ancestors. That's what he does here at Gowdara Mudde Mane. So we'll meet him. In fact, he's in the kitchen. ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರು ಬರ್ಬೋದಾ ಒಳಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದಾ
Maybe come in.
Oh, yes, sir. Please.
This is the man behind Gowdara Mudde Mane, Mr. Chandrasekhar.
And this is the man who made me national figure.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I didn't want to make.
Mr. Ashish Vidyarthi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Namaskara.
Very hands-on. So I caught a sneak peek of what was happening. He's got a very special pulao that he's working on for us. Come.
Come.
Pulao is gone on dum.
Yeah. That's. Is that what do I smell?
That is basically the chicken there. There's a lot of coriander.
Coriander.
There's a lot of green herbs that gets used in the cooking here.
Can we not trap the aroma and share it with the people who are watching it?
I
How
think
is it?
eventually that will happen. Eventually that will happen.
Keema gojju.
Mutton mince. So, gojju. So, gojju is like a thick preparation.
Acha.
So, they call it a gojju, a kheema gojju. And the speciality here is there will be peas in that gojju.
I love my keema with mutton. ये तो definitely taste करेगा.
So, the food that you do, the Gowda food, there's a lot of greens that go in, a lot of coriander that goes in, the chilies that go in,
This is chakna.
the spare parts.
The only space.
Chakna. Zone में भाई.
He heated the water, and now there is the ragi, the finger millet, that's gone into it. Now they're going to knead it.
Just look how they're kneading it. That's a unique way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have imagined.
In fact, this is a job that requires arms of steel. In fact, you'll see all these guys who work it.
They're tough.
They're tough. The other guy who does it, he'll have big guns. That's the only way you can do it. The ragi mudde. So the Gowdas are a very strong community. And the last time around when I met him, so I asked him, why do people not chew on it? Why do people swallow it? So he says, the reason why we Gowda swallow it is that it strengthens our esophagus. it strengthens that throat area so they can speak like Gowdas.
Karela.
So that's basically the shin. So that's where you have the nalli and all of that.
It is boiled and cooked over a long time.
They make a curry, but they also make a fry with it.
Right. I'll tell you one more thing. Today, the dome tower, the tail portion of the ship, the best part of the ship, the best part.
Because I remember having that karela fry, that literally melts
Yeah.
like tuppa.
Come again. Karela. What is Karela?
Karela.
Karela, so it basically refers to the calf, the shin area.
Karela in North India is
a vegetable.
It's a vegetable.
Yeah.
Morning the chakna which is getting ready.
Yeah. All spare.
All the spare parts.
All the spare.
So this is a hardcore vegetarian, non-vegetarian kind of a set of people.
Absolutely. So they love their meat and they love their mutton in that. But the base, so they will also have a soppina saru, which will basically be greens. They'll have the ragi mudde. So they balance it out, but they love their meat. I guess this is more like that celebration sort of a meal.
Absolutely.
So a Sunday uta.
Yes, Sunday uta would be like.
Sunday uta would be like this.
Otherwise, typically people understand that in South we primarily eat vegetarian stuff. But yes, there is vegetarian, and yet the non-vegetarian fare is also so varied.
It varied, very diverse.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Gowda community is very agrarian based. The millets will be the foundation of a meal, along with that saru, etc. And because there's so much land for the animals to graze on, therefore you have meat that comes into their diet.
Yes, got it.
But also the manner in which they do it, things here. So for example here, you would have never seen coriander powder this bright in its color.
And I actually thought that is turmeric.
No, it's coriander. He buys the premium grade coriander, he roasts it and he grinds it.
And so that's what you meant when you said a whole lot of coriander.
Coriander.
The coriander, but that is this.
This is the base. See, you also need chilies to offset some of the fat in the meat.
Okay, all right, got it.
So the chili that he uses here is a combination. He does the mankatti there,
That gives 20%. Another 20%.
Guntur.
Guntur.
Mankatti is the spiciest. It's a local mankatti. And then there is Byadgi, which gives you color. Guntur is a balance, both color and spice.
Palav means one of my friends suggested me because meat, carbohydrate, and one side protein. So chakna they are putting fiber also. That is cabbage and all.
Here is somebody who's running a restaurant, who's been trained as a pharmacist, and
I love it.
So you are using everything that you've learned also,
Yes.
including your genes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love the bit about the voice.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And all vegetables and greens are all washed in this thing.
Potassium permanganate.
Yeah, morning, everything. I love it. 20 years till today also I myself bring all, even green chili also I have to purchase. I never depend upon any guys, mutton or chicken, everything I should bring.
Yes, we saw that all the sources are written there.
Absolutely. In fact, there was a time, I don't know if he does it now, he used to go to the mutton shop, the keema for the kheema unde. He would go and mince the keema himself because he needs that right dararapan, that right coarseness.
Correct.
So set for your uta.
Look forward to that.
After that sweaty kitchen tour, hot, humid and fragrant with all the aromas.
And the conversation that you brought up. I'm enjoying that. Superb.
Absolutely.
Excited.
In your busy schedule and with all the work that you're doing, and we've been speaking only for the last 1 week or so, but I can already get a sense of the pace of life that you live. How did you come across Food Lovers TV?
Inquisitive me. I'm an inquisitive person.
Okay.
Some years back, I stopped reading.
Okay.
I stopped reading books. I'm a consumer of short form content.
Okay.
So I read articles, I read essays. I also follow content in which I can listen to people. I'm used to asking Google, share interesting things. I ask questions like that. Obviously, we all know that Google listens to us. So since I talk about food all the time, my phone's been listening to me. So when I say share something interesting, I think that's how you came up.
Okay.
And when I saw you not just as a dispassionate person talking about food. You're very involved in your conversations about food, and you are discussing recipes, and you're sharing some anecdotes about that. And I've always believed that stories make anything interesting. And you do that. I've seen a lot of people, they hold themselves back in acknowledging, and somehow I feel that they feel that something of theirs will go away. I've always felt that as you acknowledge, you allow the universe to know that this person is open to be taught.
Yes.
The acknowledgement is just that. From a world of I know it to I didn't know it.
Correct.
And now what next? It's a play on words, but my surname Vidyarthi is something which my father took on. And I'm so happy that each day is a day of discovery. And then there's another very interesting thing I've discovered is that when you can look at something and have a wow look in your eyes. Because otherwise when you say, have you had biryani? Yeah. Have you had biryani? Yeah. Biryani dosa. Yeah. So if you keep doing that, you had it. So I personally feel that when you're excited about anything, if you're excited about a site, excited about a place, a meeting, a food, then that moment becomes precious for you.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't do it for others, I do it for me. When I say, when I can, inside, when I saw that keema, the butter, I said that how will it melt inside? Now people will say, what did we do? We had food there. What food?
What food? What was?
Who were there?
I have this thing that you have to, whatever you're doing, whether you're meeting somebody or whether you have a keema gojju in front of you, you have to pay attention to it. If you pay attention to it, it will reveal you things that nobody else knows about it. That, see, you think about food, right? And people say, so I don't go with a script, nothing. I tell people all that I do is I go there and I listen to what the food has to tell me. Usually क्या होता है जिंदगी में, you are eating a meal. खाना सबसे अहम चीज़ है. The most important thing that you put in your body, apart from let's say meditation and all of that, is you feeding, nourishing yourself. But when we are feeding, nourishing ourselves, usually क्या होता है, we are doing this, we are in a meeting, we are barely, that food becomes like a side incident हो जाता है. But on the other hand, if you make that center stage, then that will tell you so many things about it that you will be grateful for it and you will relish it with that much more anand.
Said is so revealing. Why just food? Anything.
Yes.
Anything, any place that you visit, any experience that you have, when you are looking at it with a lot of respect for that, thank you are there, it does reveal amazing things. And come to think of it, therefore that experience becomes unique.
That's right.
It is not another day.
And you know what, I see that in your vlogs, I see a lot of childlike enthusiasm. I saw that one, I think, that intro caught me. I think you were with the rickshaw wala saying, khana hai, fish ka hai, ye wo. And then I saw this thing where you come down on a slide and you come down and you go like this. And I can see that joy on your face.
And the child laughing.
Absolutely. So I think क्या होता है कि कभी-कभार as we get older, we say, हाँ अब तो बड़ों जैसा ले. We have to act old now. We have to act grown up.
So, my take on this is very interesting. I really think that the best thing that has happened to me is that I've become an adult.
Okay.
Best thing, because when you and I were children, I don't know about you, but I'll tell you very specifically. There were times, I had to have breakfast then, and then lunch then, and dinner then. I had to do this, I had to do this, I had to do this. Guess what? Now I'm an adult. I want to eat gulab jamun in the morning, I can. I want to eat avial at night, I can.
You can.
I can do. So the best thing about adulthood is that now we are completely responsible for the actions that we take. Might as well be excited about it, yeah?
Fantastic.
All of us have an opportunity called life. The life for me is not just this didn't happen. So many of us did not make it after this, all that COVID. Some of us have made it.
Yeah.
Then might as well do something. In fact, you know what? Very interesting. This frame is telling us something. What do you see in this frame? So there are three of us. You, me, and this three.
Yes.
And it's showing an empty table. It is saying that this table needs to be filled up.
With food.
With food. भूख लगी है. चक्कर आ रहे हैं यार.
Yurige first Kodi.
क्या बात है.
Guest to Euro.
Thank you so much.
Kaal soup.
Khade masale. I can even bite into this stuff. Jeera. I'm getting jeera.
Yeah. Some cumin.
Ginger. Yeah. Gaga. Yeah. Yes, sir.
And there's already some lemon in it.
Underneath is that pepper that we are getting?
Yeah. And the delicious part in the paya is always a bit of that oil that's floating.
Yeah.
Because that oil has rendered from the trotter, from the gelatin, and it has worked its way upwards, trapping some of the flavors. So जब लोग देखते हैं and they try to take that oil away, मत करो वो जुल्मी नहीं करना आपके पाये पर.
क्या बात है. 2 किलोमीटर और चल लो.
लेकिन इसका आनंद लो.
बहुत जरूरी है भाई.
Fantastic.
Those, I am going to have this after years. This ragi ball. I'm getting back memories of AK-47, the first time when I came down to Bangalore for a shoot.
You had the ragi mudde.
And I was served the ragi mudde and I did not know what this was. And that's what I remembered, that don't chew. You just thought it,
First you have to pluck it. Then make it in oval shape.
Oval shape.
Then you have to mingle.
Not to chew it.
Not to chew it.
And why do you not chew it?
Why do you chew it?
Because it clears your esophagus.
And so your voice becomes booming.
Oh, yes.
You can sound like a Gowda.
That's right.
That's the whole thing.
I told you now, doom.
This is the dum.
Doom.
Oh, the tail.
Tail portion.
Oh, dum. Good. So it's not a dhoom machalo, dum. And every animal will have only one dum. So therefore very prized. You may get multiple सीना, multiple करेला, लेकिन दुम एक ही होता है.
या तो चिकन की 2 टंगड़ी, बकरे की 1 दुम.
एक दुम.
ये बहुत जरूरी है, बहुत यूनिक. This is mutton chop.
Mutton chops. कीमा गोजू.
हाँ. अब छोटा ही पीस लिया.
छोटा पीस डुबाओ उसमें. Dip it.
चबाना नहीं.
अंदर.
गया. हाँ निकल लो. What is this? Karela.
That's the karela that you'll get at Gowdara Mudde Mane.
Oh.
Mutton lollipop.
Mutton lollipop.
Lollipop. On top of this, the karela, there is a piece of meat. So that they take out and they cook it separately. So basically this is twice cooked. So they cook it first, they boil the meat with the spices, etc. And then they fry it with some more masala.
It's given some extra attention.
Absolutely.
I like extra attention. I also like things which are given extra attention. Chala jaye.
Did you taste the mutton yet?
Oh, I haven't tasted the mutton yet. Very interesting. Even though it broke easy, it stayed that form. The juices are right inside it, huh?
Also, you will find that every piece of meat will have a bit of fat sheath on it because that's where the flavor is. It's a very rustic, ruddy style of cooking here. Chicken raichu dry. So you will find fat on the meat and also separately because that's really where the flavor is. And let's make a beginning with the dum.
इसमें नींबू डाल सकते हैं भाई.
This is interesting. This is a complete play of textures, no? You got some part of the meat which is crunchy, popcorn जैसा है.
Correct, crunchy.
And there's some parts which are like juicy, rather melty, the fat. And then you've got some pieces which are slightly dry in between. But yeah, this is a piece of meat that calls for complete involvement. I think staying with that, we should move to this lollipop next.
That's the next crunchy thing.
Some garlic, some curry leaf.
The burntness of the garlic. Butter.
ಇವರಿಗೆ ಇದು ಗಾರ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಫ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದಾ
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಬರ್ರಿ ಅದೇ thank you. So in Kannada there's a word called tuppa. Tuppa means ghee, but also refers to anything that seems to be the texture that will dissolve in your mouth like tuppa. And this piece of meat certainly seems to be that. So you see the meat, you see the fat, and you see a bit of that gelatin. ये पिघलने वाला मटन है.
पिघलने वाला है, इसको पिघला देते हैं. चलो भाई.
Go for it.
And it's hot.
ये भी you don't need to chew like the ragi. मुंह में रख लो, बस पिघल जाता है.
क्या बात है.
This is called the mutton lollipop here.
Mutton lollipop. Was that a real chunk thing, or did I hear it after eating all this?
I think that was a real chunk.
It was music to my ears. All this,
All that we're tasting.
No. Let's see this. Let's see this. Since it's a first for both of us, here you are. Let's both go for it together. So we'll just put a little bit of nibu in this. I'll put some little nibu on me. This is an absolute first. Thank you, Kripal.
The dum.
So there's the, typically this charbi I don't like. But today, with your description of it, I'm understanding, valuing it. That on one end is the crisp, and there is the softness of the charbi. It's really making it amazing.
Before we go for the karela, I think we'll break with some
Let's break. Yeah.
with some keema.
Okay.
Some keema gojju.
Not just the mutton, the fact that the mutter is so, the pea is so fresh, bordering on sweet.
Yeah. And for a good keema gojju, it always has to be fresh peas.
Okay. Ma used to make this.
Okay.
Pilu also makes it.
So what sort of food is closest to your heart? I know that you explore food wherever you go and you're very open in wanting to taste.
Yeah. North Indian food,
Okay.
Bengali food, South vegetarian food,
South vegetarian food.
South non-vegetarian food, apart from, say, a Hyderabadi biryani, is not very commonly available outside of South.
Yeah.
So when I went to Madurai, that's when I first had
Huh.
hardcore South Indian
Vegetarian food.
non-vegetarian.
Non-vegetarian food. Okay.
Well, vegetarian food is available as well. So for me, therefore, all this is a revelation. To know that this kind of hardcore non-vegetarian food, I'm like,
So this is your first time in eating a Gowda.
Gowda kind of food. The only vegetarian food here, the vegetarian bit is
The garlic and the curry
the
leaves.
garlic and the curry leaves.
I think you should try this chicken dish. It's like a chicken kebab, I think. It's on the bone. So I think then you should definitely try the
Karela. Seemingly, the dum.
You like the smokiness of it?
But how is it different? It's so different. Even though they both are mutton pieces.
I think it probably has to do with which part of the animal it is. Like for
Any
example,
different in masala in this?
this is a little more blander, whereas I think out here the masala is probably a little more intense in its flavors. So I think it also is a cut of meat. So for example, here there's a lot of fat. Dum, there is that fat, but
But yes,
it's the leaner meat, right? So the fat isn't as much for it to bring in its flavor. So therefore, I guess what Chandrasekhar does is he adds more masalas, more spicing to that. Whereas with the karela or with the lollipop that we tasted, he wants the flavor of the meat. He wants the flavor of the fat to resonate on your palate. That's what he wants.
I'm going back to the dum. I'm trying it with this curd chutney. Pulao which has made it.
Oh, pulao kuda bandide. Oh, there's one you forgot to try the chop. Eight chop to banta hai.
Don't mind. You break one portion off and you give me.
Okay, ठीक है, done.
Do it with your fingers. So Kripal, would you say that you are lean because of the long distances that you drive on your bike?
I do a similar thing that I do a lot of fasting. To keep your palate sharp, you need to deprive it. That's what works for me.
Interesting. Okay, so this is very good and the rasa of this is very good. As you said, coriander.
Coriander. There's also some dill that goes into it. The sapsike soppo.
What is dill?
Dill is basically a herb. It's aromatic in its flavors. And so they use it for the mutton dishes. When they make the kheema unde, it goes into it. So it has a aromatic sort of a lift. I don't know if you can taste that in this.
Would it be like that?
Not all the way to soft.
Okay. Oh, that's sort of.
Yeah, that's sort of, but not all the way like soft. So it has a delicate aroma to it. The pulao.
Pulao.
And this is the Gowda style pulao.
Okay.
And what's interesting about this pulao is that there is some coconut milk that goes into this pulao. So they basically make a gravy of the mutton. There's some peas in it, some aromatic herbs, etc. And the base for that is coconut milk.
Really?
That's right.
This is interesting. I think I spy this very interesting pink colored.
I think that must be stained with beetroot. What I like about Chandrasekhar, he keeps experimenting.
Okay.
So pehle to biryani was only the meat and the rice. So somebody told him, why don't you give vegetables? So today he's put some cabbage in it.
So with non-veg biryani को बंद गोभी बिरयानी समझ के खा सकते हैं.
Can you also smell the aromatic spices? If you just आप बस चावल को सूंघ लो, just the rice by itself. Just the rice by itself. This isn't the pulao that you will smell from a mile away. But आप पास आओ और पास बुलाएगा.
पास आओ तो वो और पास हो जाए.
वो खुशबू. See, also the other interesting thing when they do a pulao like this, you also find a certain savory saltiness to the pulao. Some of that is from the fat.
Again.
Fat has salt. The meat has a certain saltiness, which is what you're also tasting in that pulao. So that saltiness that you taste, and that saltiness that comes from the meat and the fat. What do you think of this pulao, this preparation?
Amazing. This is light again.
बहुत light है.
मतलब ऐसा लाइट कि मतलब मिर्ची नहीं लग रही और कुछ मसाला मुझे ऐसा नहीं है कुछ मसाला में कुछ वो लग रहा है. But aroma है. The vegetable in this rice retains its vegetableness. Really, this pulao is amazing. Zone में है भाई. I was about to say no to the pulao.
Oh.
गलती करने वाला था.
This serves well just to complete. And also it's very calming. You've had all the spices before, the chili and all of that, but ये थोड़ा सुकून है.
With your conversation, my guilt is going away. I'm just saying that I'm working to calm myself.
You are. लेकिन ये सब खा लिया है थोड़ा बहुत. We have to do some coffee after this.
Guys, let's now make sure that our team members eat.
Yes.
Right?
People always ask. आपको भी पूछते होंगे, right? Do the team members eat or not? Well, in every shoot that we do, at Food Lovers TV and I'm sure even at Ashish Vidyarthi Actor Vlogs, I think the people on the team are the happiest because there's always some great food happening.
So, Umesh, who is responsible for how I look in all my films, Umesh also does some amazing camera work when I'm on my own. So thank you so much, Umesh. And now
Nithin.
is the time for you to go in.
And that's Nithin. And
He's my cousin from Kannur.
he is your cousin from Kannur.
Yes.
So Nithin's been with me for the last 4.5 years, 5 years nearly.
Wow.
So we are in Jayanagara 4th block. This is the heartland of South Bengaluru in a manner of speaking. So after that big meal that we did, we have to have some good filter coffee.
So let me taste one Kumbakonam coffee and something which is from Karnataka.
We can do that. Cheers.
Wow, this is amazing. So years back I did wine tasting with him, and now I'm doing decoction tasting. Yeah, it feels like there's nimbu in that.
Yeah.
There's khatas in that. What is this? No?
That's a character of the blend.
Kya baat hai?
So in this coffee, I can feel the weight of the coffee sink into the pores of my tongue.
You know, you're articulating what I'm experiencing. You know what? Kripal, may I suggest something?
Yes.
Don't mind it. You know, you articulate so well about food. Why don't you start a food channel, my friend?
Food Lovers TV.
Yeah, you must start a food channel.
I will take you up on that,
On
Ashish.
that, you must.
Not a bad idea. And perhaps Food Lovers
Go
TV.
back
What do you
and-
think of the
Yeah,
name?
we will
Good.
think of Food Lovers TV.
If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating!